A steady stream of Ukrainians arrive at a city sports complex converted into a temporary shelter near the U.S.-Mexico border in Tijuana. They are greeted by volunteers who speak their language and will help them get settled.
They're terrified. They're confused. They have no clue what's going to happen next. They're still in a blur. The reality hasn't really hit a lot of them yet.
34-year-old Oleg Shevchuk is a real estate investor from Seattle who spent his own money and time to help his people. He's Ukrainian and says he was taken to the United States when he was just 2 years old.
When I look at them, it tells me, this can happen to anyone. It can happen to us. And when sometimes you talk to these people, they never thought this would ever happen in their life. So to me, it's kind of like, that could have been me, it could have been my family.
Shevchuk, who speaks fluent Russian, agrees to translate so we can talk with 36-year-old Ina. She recently arrived with her husband and 4 children from Odessa.
She told them that war has started. We can all die. They can take away your dad, so we need to leave. At first they cried and they wanted to come back, and we decided that we need to go.
Unlike many other women, Ina's husband traveled with her from Ukraine. He's volunteering here at the shelter while she looks after their children, Sofia, Zarina, Donna, and Avenir. She tries to keep them entertained.
She's very grateful. She says it was amazing. People were very kind and generous. They gave them food. They gave them a place to stay. And may God, repay these kind people tenfold. Thank you all for everything that you have done for us.
It took Ina and her family about 3 weeks to travel mostly by plane and car from Odessa. There were stops in Moldova, Frankfurt, Germany, Spain, Mexico City, and eventually Tijuana. She estimates the cost was over $8,000, which was fronted by relatives in the United States. Ina and her family will most likely be here for 72 hours, at which time they will be shuttled to the port of entry and given a parole visa to cross into the United States. They will head to Pennsylvania, where Ina's sister and mother await them. If you're ever able to go back and rebuild your life again, is that your plan?
We would like to imagine that things can come back to normal, but we don't know if that's possible for us.
About 10 miles south of the Benito Juarez shelter sits this one. It's run by a church. It's a much smaller shelter in a small colonia, and inside the conditions are very different too. Here we meet a single mother, 44-year-old Maria. She agrees to talk with us behind a mask, still fearful of the gangs back in Honduras who tried to kill her 11-year-old son and are responsible, she says, for the disappearance of her partner. There is sadness and fear in her eyes.
People from organized crime. It's very hard. They took my son and beat him. They did so many things to him. And I had to escape running because if I stay there, they were going to kill him. And my son, he's only 11 years old. It's very hard to live your country without knowing where you are going, without knowing what's going to happen, what your destiny will be like.
Maria has 4 young children with her: Josue, 11, Maria, 8, Jester, 6, and Jefferson, 3. She left 3 grown daughters and a grandson behind. She's been at the shelter for 3 months now, following a 10-month-long trip. They traveled mostly on foot and took buses when they could afford it.
We walked when we didn't have money, and we would have to walk and sleep in the streets. People with a good heart would help us, and I would ask for a job, doing anything, washing dishes, or any other thing so me and my children could eat.
Here, the Agape shelter is run by an evangelical Christian ministry. Residents are encouraged to participate in church services 3 times a week and must feed themselves. This is a constant challenge for Maria. She often babysits for other mothers who work so she can earn some money to keep her phone charged and provide basic necessities for her kids.
One day, I had $20 and I bought a mattress because they were sleeping in the ground and it's very cold and it was raining. And I thought, even if we don't eat, we are going to buy it so you guys can sleep at least a little bit better.
Staying healthy, especially during the pandemic, has not been easy.
My boy of 3 years old is ill. He has a hernia. I have asked help to the local clinics. We came here unintentionally, thank God. God keep us alive, and that's what matters. And God will give us strength to put up with all of this that we are living here, because it's not easy. There are good days, and there are bad days.
As for what's next, Maria plans to make her way to the border and pray for the opportunity to present her asylum case.
I had to leave my country, even if I didn't want to, because of my life and my children's life, hoping they can help us, that God touches their heart, that God touches the government and immigration's heart, and that they help us, that they do it for our families, because they are kids, and they suffer a lot because of the situation we are living. If people from Ukraine get the opportunity to go in, they should also think about us. We are also human, and we are people in need.